Hey there, this is Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking at a 2002 Audi S6 with 80,000 kilometers. This one bought from auction here in Japan, and we're shipping this one over to Germany. Has a 4.2 liter V8 engine. It's actually the same engine that's in the RS6 without the turbos. This engine is in many Volkswagen engine vehicles, as well as Audi and the Porsche Cayenne, sorry, not the Cayman. Might actually be in the Cayman too. The 4.2 liter is known to be one of the best engines that Audi has made, Audi/Volkswagen. It has 335 horsepower, which is very nice for this car, but I feel like I've been told that the engine numbers for this engine isn't exactly the best part. It has a lot of low down torque and is very smooth and not peaky. So very different from your typical Japanese engine. And as I get older and have more experience with cars, it's engines like this that really feel great when you're driving compared to the actual numbers that you get. Now the RS6 version of this, available in sedan and station wagon, has 444 horsepower. I'm not sure if I prefer the RS6 or if I prefer this one, considering you get this one for a quarter of the price. Both are good. This is very good value for money in a car that is quick and luxurious and large. And the RS6 is an RS6. Everyone knows the name and everyone loves them. The cool thing about the S6, and I didn't realize this until we bought it, but you get the wide RS6 fenders on the S6 as well. And so stance-wise, the car looks great. It is, by modern standards, a little bit dated, but it's not going to be long until something like this starts to look more classic, as you see fewer and fewer of them on the road. I think it's a very nice design, interior, exterior, a great package overall. And I myself am a pretty big fan of Volkswagens. I own a Lupo GTI. I've had friends that owned like Mark 1 Golfs and whatnot when I was growing up, Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3. Just going to shut the engine off, so we'll check the rest of the car here. 79,909 kilometers, a really gorgeous gauge set there. And this one says S6, right? Somebody put on RS6 badges onto the car, and so it kind of looks like an RS6 from the exterior. Just shut this off, pull the key out, and we'll come back to the interior in a second. Sorry about the wind today. It's mega windy today. We just had a typhoon like 4 days ago, and then before and after a typhoon can be pretty windy. Okay, so here's the auction inspection sheet. I've highlighted any of the important parts on here. It says 2002 Audi. They didn't say what kind of car that it was, and I think it's because the seller was hoping somebody would think it's an RS6 by accident, because it has an RS6 badge on it, front and back. Of course, it has the over fenders, not the over fenders, they're actual fenders that are wider. And then it has the super large aftermarket Brembo brakes, which may or may not look like the RS6. They're a floating disc. And so what they do is they use aluminum for the center section and then bolt the cast iron disc onto it to give you lower weight overall with the aluminum in here. And then the cast iron itself just handles all of the heat there. Brembo brakes, they might be the same as the RS6. It is unfortunately pretty common here in Japan to do stuff like this with AMG badges or M3 badges or RS6 badges or other things like, Brabus or Carlson or whatnot. Anyways, going back up here, it's an auction grade 3.5, 79,868 at time of purchase, now slightly higher than that. Automatic transmission, sunroof, power steering, power windows, and airbag. The sales points here are left-hand drive. Yes, we are in Japan. It is a right-hand drive country, but a lot of Euro cars are available here in both. JDM cars are very rarely available in both here, and most of the time the left-hand drive JDM cars here are imports from the USA, so things like Tundras and Sequoias and Toyota Tacomas and FJ Cruisers and that sort of thing. Okay, so the notes here say they don't know what kind of car it was. I think they were just pulling one, and they said S6 Quattro maybe, so that's what it sounds like it is. 4-wheel drive, S6, aftermarket wheels on it, which I think are actually just the original wheels or some sort of an Audi wheel. The wheels are really bashed up, so time to change those. And then here it says automatic transmission shock and makes a noise. So it makes it sound kind of like boom, boom when you shift. Compared, like I've seen thousands and thousands of cars, so it's not bad. I think you'll be fine if you just change the fluid in it. It's like, for transmission boom sounds, then it's pretty mild. Headliner is saggy, it's only in the rear, but the headliner is discolored. It looks like it was cigarette smoke and then cleaned out, so there's some discoloration in it. Might be a good idea to get that changed. Interior wear and dirty. Oh, and headliners in Japan on Euro cars tend to sag a lot. The type of glue that they use for Euro cars doesn't hold together with the humidity here very well. So you'll see that on a lot of Euro cars here. Wheels scraped. Scrape is usually one level above scratches that you see on here sometimes. Various scratches and dents on the car. Paint cracks on the front bumper I couldn't find, so there really aren't any. There's A2 still, which is a medium scratch. W3 on this fender. So this has been repainted. And this type of silver, I don't know what it is, but this type of silver is visibly different from every other type of paint. Like the metallic in it just has a different look to it. Now color-wise, it looks fine. It's just a texture. You can't really see any texture until you're about a meter away from it, and then only if you're really looking for it. I really don't think that this is a problem. The car looks gorgeous, colors match, all body lines match up and everything, so really not a lot to worry about. Okay, windshield rock chip. It says a U2 dent over here, A2 over here, and A2 over here. Let's just go back to the other side and have a look at those. Okay, so coming down here, the U2 is right here. I don't think it's that big. Looks like they hit the door on something, but it didn't chip any paint or anything, which is good. This area here has like the cracking of the protective plastic piece, so you'll be able to take these off and get them reapplied. It's just to prevent rock chips from that section because they're a vulnerable area of the car. A lot of cars have that. And then there are mild scratches in here on this area, but I don't really see anything that stands out like on that area. There is this right here and this right here. And besides that, that's basically all there is to the car. The rest of it looks pretty good. And I will do a once around in a second here. Just going to double check to make sure we didn't forget anything, which is good. Oh, the wheel scrape. Let me show you that. It's bad. Both rear wheels are about as bad as one another. Okay. And then the front wheels also have damage too. So wheels are generally not an expensive thing, and they can really make a big difference. And you can really modernize the looks of a car like this by adding some wheels that are a more modern design, maybe some 19s. Volkswagens have always fit a big wheel really nicely. Volkswagen slash Audis. In my mind, an Audi is just a Volkswagen that's really nicer. Which is weird. Like, there are some Volkswagen models that are nicer than some Audi models. It's kind of weird how they stagger like that, because I'm not sure if you get the same thing with Lexus to Toyota or Acura to Nissan. Maybe you do with Acura to Nissan. Pretty much all of the Acuras just feel like Nissans to me. Anyways, so now you can see it from all the different angles. I'm a station wagon person myself, so if I got an S6, it would be a station wagon, but nowadays you're getting fewer and fewer 3-box sedans. What I mean is like low, high, low, like a old school style car shape. And so having a 3-box sedan might be the future generation's version of a wagon. Fewer of them on the road, and people will seek them out specifically because of that. Okay, so front bumper, although I couldn't find any paint cracks on it, there's trim all around the car that's usually a chrome that's been painted black, and the paint has been chipped off of it in various places. Okay, oh, I just noticed this. It's flush with the headlight here. It's not flush with the headlight here. I wonder why that is. Headlight. Yeah, the headlight is a little bit off here. I wonder if that has anything, like I looked in here for accident damage and couldn't find any, but it could be that there's something I couldn't notice. Okay, well, something to check when the car lands. Okay, and yeah, the black. Here's the black here. It's painted all the way around. Usually it's chrome, and in some areas the black has chipped off. That has been painted aftermarket. Lip spoiler there. I like a good lip spoiler. and more of the black chipped off here and here. Also aftermarket pieces, window visors. There's a gasket here that's chipping, and when you roll down the windows it makes a screeching sound until it's this far down. So just take these out, really. They're made in Germany, going back to the home country. Okay, people always wonder why you would get cars like this when you can buy them in Germany. Typically cars in Europe have really high mileage compared to cars in Japan. This one has 80,000 kilometers. That would be considered pretty high for a car like this in Japan. A lot of them are at 30,000, 50,000, 70,000, and there are higher mileage cars, but typically people in Japan don't drive to work. This is a huge difference with other countries. And you get train pass and you just train to work because it's faster and more convenient. And traffic can be terrible if you live in a city. Quite dirty in here. That needs to be vacuumed. It came in like this. Oh, a little rip in the gasket there. Okay. And then prices too. Price for the same model. Usually almost every Euro car here in Japan you can import back to Germany and have it at a lower price than similar models there. That's why it's so popular to do that. I always get a ton of people in the comment section asking what on a car like this. Okay, Recaro seats. These are S6 seats. They are really nice. They're not as nice as a Golf Mark IV R32, which has some of my favorite seats, but they're pretty similar. This one's made by Recaro, who made the Mark V seats for the R32. Not very much wear on them compared to your average seat. These tend to wear out a lot on the outside bolsters. They wrinkle, get dry, and then crack. They do, however, have pilling in the bottom section. There is a way to shave the pill off, but you have to be really, really careful and know what you're doing, or you're going to cut a hole in your seat. Otherwise, you can just have pilled seats. It's not that bad. Okay, has a cool carbon fiber motif on the interior. Porsche and Audi both do this with their interiors sometimes, and it looks great. Okay. Some scratches around the automatic transmission. There's shift to yourself gates and then paddles to shift there and there. You might notice that the paddles are a little bit gummy looking. This is a Euro car thing, or should I just say German car thing here in Japan. I think it's a humidity thing. One of our buyers said it's actually pretty easy to repair those, but he told me how, but I couldn't remember how. Sorry about that. This is adjustable at different levels, so you can, it like clicks in and then you can lower it more or whatnot, so you can have just the right height for that. And then there's someone's old tissue in there. So yeah, I think it's been smoked in. There's no damage, no smell, but the headliner has a kind of look, like a discolored look that you get from cigarettes. And then the saggy portion is in the rear back there, so it's not that bad, but there's a cutout there for your heads to give you more headroom. And it's right in that cutout, so you might have sagginess on your head if you're a taller person. Okay. Has an aftermarket alarm on it. Clifford, come on. Yeah. And aftermarket pedal covers. And it goes boom. And oh, heated seats on the fronts and on the rears. That's cool. I didn't realize that it had that. And then the fan speed controller doesn't look like it works well because it can't pick the right fan speed very well. You press the buttons and nothing happens until you get to a certain number, and then it switches the fan speed. It's a little bit different from what you want. Okay. Sound system is Bose. Not sure how well it sounds because I've never pumped the volume. Personally, I really like a good sound system in a car, and I've heard people complain that Bose can be expensive and not sound that good for how expensive it is. Like you can get cheaper speakers for better, or for just as good a sound. But if it's in your car, like, it's probably going to be pretty awesome sounding. And then the sound engineers will take the proportions of the inside of the car and make sure that the speakers sound good considering the placement of them and how big the speakers are going to be, that sort of thing. Here you can see the seat heater part, and look at this. This is kind of interesting. Usually what you do is you flip this down and you press here and cup holders come out on most German cars. Here you have a slot to put things in and it goes right back in there. It's like pretty big. whole side of it. And then your cup holders, by contrast, are down here. You get 2 of them. 1, 2. Okay, you also have a pass-through to put skis in, but if you're going to go skiing, you probably are going to get the station wagon version. Okay, have a quick look at the trunk. Sizable trunk. A lot of people think, oh, I need a wagon or crossover because I need more space. That goes way back in there. You could fit a lot of stuff in there. Also, the original discs came in here. They are so heavy. Each one, let's just lift this up, is probably 12 kilo. And then the new discs on there, are they bigger? Maybe a little bit bigger. They probably weigh closer to 9 or so. And then some other things too. These are just going to get tossed out. I don't even know what this is. Brake pads, disc pads, and a filter and some windshield wipers, so nothing really worth it. There's a spare tire under there. It's a full size, and it's in, I don't know, I didn't check the age, but it looks like it's never been used. Okay, close it up and end of video. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, as always, please let me know. If you don't, then thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.